You're the Mishnah man. Oh, hey, what, Yerachmiel, what are we going to do next week for the Mishnah? Huh? Yerachmiel.
Well, it's, you could do it. Maybe somebody can help you. The way I do it is I log in from a telephone. First, I download Kahati for the Mishnah, and then I log in from my telephone the second time. You might notice.
I already have it logged. I mean, I have it downloaded on my phone.
Okay. So you log in a second account. You do Rabbi Bolton 2 times. One from the telephone. From there, you'll share the Kahati. For some reason,
I'll talk to you about it. I'll talk to you about it. When are you going on this this excursion?
Early Sunday morning.
Okay, good. So I'll talk to you about it either today or tomorrow. Okay, we'll figure this out. We'll do it. Okay, no, good. Let's go. Now we are on the Mishnah. Torah. We just finished Torah Sheba'al Peh, and here we have Torah Shebechtav. The holy, brilliant, happy, meaningful Mishnah. I think we didn't finish the previous Mishnah. That's right. We still have Rabbi Masnia ben Charash. Let's go back to the Mishnah. Go back to the text above. Here we go. So we had Rabbi Yanai said, we have not got in our hands, we cannot grasp the success of the evil and not the suffering of the righteous. That's what we did yesterday. Rabbi Masya ben Charash said, it says over him, Rabbi Masya ben Charash, he was one of the pupils. Yeah, here we go, Rabbi Eliezer ben Hyrcanus. Remember we had Eliezer ben Hyrcanus? Eliezer ben Hyrcanus, he was one of the pupils of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. We had Rabbi Masya ben Charash said, Havi maktim b'shalom kol adam. You should say hello to everybody. Say shalom to everyone, even to non-Jews. Say hello, which is a good thing. But first of all, every human being is a big miracle. And we learned early who is a wise man, one who learns from everybody. Everybody has something. Everybody has something to teach you. And sometimes the most simple people, they have more to teach you than the most complicated people. Right? Sometimes the simplest people, a good word for them, look, attitude. So therefore, he says you should say hello to everybody. V'havi zanav la'arayos. It's better to be a tail, T-A-I-L, for lions, and it was better to be the backside of a lion than to be the head of a fox. All right, let's see what this means. Rabbi Masya ben Charash said, you should precede everyone with a hello, shalom. Hishtadel itchabeb al habrios. You should be friendly to people. Bezen this tityaches aleim b'kavod. To give every person honor, haroi, which is fitting to them. Everyone is created in the image of God. Huh? Can't have anything more honorable than that. But taktim b'shalom kol adam. Therefore, you should precede by saying hello to everyone. Afilu nachot darga. Even if a person is a very low level, he's a street sweeper or whatever, say hello. Became Mesupra Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, that's what Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, who was the teacher of this teacher of the teacher of Rabbi Masya ben Charash. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, you should say, Lo higdimu adam shalom eolam. No one ever said hello to him before he said hello to them. Afilu nachri b'shuk, even a non-Jew in the marketplace. I mean, that sort of makes sense, because if you have a person that's really an honorable person, a well-known person you don't just go up to him and say, oh, hello, Albert Einstein, how are you? Or, hello, some rich guy who knows, how are you? it's an honorable person. He's got his mind is on other things. You're not going to say hello to him. So he used to say hello to everybody first. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Now here we go. Listen to this. It's better to be the tail end of a lion than to be the head of a fox. Kolomer, in other words, it's better that you should titchaber, join to high people and wise people, people that are smarter than you, and you'll be the end of them, and you'll be one of the smallest of them. That's better than being the head of foxes. Not to be rosh lekatanim, pechote. Don't have all of your friends or people that they're less than you and they don't know as much as you, and then you'll feel good all the time. Okay, listen, this good idea is not talking about teaching people Torah. It's just talking about who your friends are. Lefia Meiri, according to the Meiri, it says, Mutav Shetiyeh Talmid Gedolim. It's better that you should be a pupil of geniuses than to be a teacher for small children. Okay, this is referring to all the time. It's not saying it's a bad thing to be a teacher for small children, but in other words, if you're always around people that are less than you, so you start to feel complacent. Hey, I got enough. But if you're always around people who are smarter, who are striving for higher than you, then you always feel, motivated. The Midrash Shmuel, it says like this. Listen to this. This is really nice. The way of a lion is that a lion walks around with its tail up above its head. Huh? A fox always goes around with its tail sort of dragging on the ground. A shul, it says, Morid Rosho Tachat Zanovo. A fox, no, this is not how I understood it. Yes. Okay, again, a lion raises his tail above his head. A shul, he puts his head down under his tail. And so it is with people. A nechbad, an honorable person, gives honor to people that are smaller than he is. It's like the lion raises up his tail. And as the lower people, the end, he raises them up. V'hanikle, but a low person, mivazeh et nechbad mimenu. A person who is low, he has a tendency to, devaluate the people who are higher than him, umashpilam, and to bring them down. Okay, listen, this is an interesting way that he says it. It's the first time I read it, I didn't understand it like this. I didn't understand like that. Okay, I thought he would say something different. I thought he would say a lion raises up his tail, so it's better to be like a lion, because those people, you're with people to be a tail of a lion, because those people will treat you with honor, even though that you're very low, but still, because you're around people that are honorable people, so they give honor to everyone, even one who's lower. But if you are a head of a fox, so a fox, he tends to devaluate everybody else because he's very low, so he tries to make everybody else as low as he is. Cynicism. Yes, some people say, no, altia rosh l'shoalim, don't be a head to foxes. Don't be lazy. Mililmod hachachma b'shlemus. Ad shetitztarech lenatzeach et chavercha b'tachblut arumot. Don't have a head like a fox. What's a fox? A fox is clever. Don't be lazy and then use your cleverness to feel that you're superior to other people. like foxes do. The foxes, they defeat all the other animals because of their cleverness, not because of their intelligence. But what is better, you should be a tail to lions. Hashpil atzmacha, humble yourself, be like a tail to be close to people who are wiser than you, and then you can learn from them. In other words, what does it mean? You want to be a head for the foxes. You always want to feel superior to others, which means that you're never going to really be superior. You just want to be superior to other people. In fact, you're not. You're just a fox. How can you maintain your superiority? By being clever. It's better to be humble and to be a tail of a lion. At least you're part of a lion. Then you'll be sofacha. Then in the end, you will be like a lion, which if you do have any people that oppose you, then a lion, he defeats with his power, not with his cleverness and trickery, etc. Okay, next Mishnah. Rabbi Yaakov said, this world is similar to a, what do they call it? An entranceway before the world to come. Hetkein atzmacha, you should prepare yourself in the entranceway in order that you can come into the big, how do you say, the big chamber, the main chamber. Okay. If you remember, we said, let's see what, just give me one moment here. Give me one moment, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. Okay, what's he doing over here? He's stressing the importance of going to heaven. This whole world is just like a big preparation to go to heaven. Don't pay so much attention to this world. You have a nice house, you have nice clothes. The main thing is do what you can to get into heaven. That's the main thing, right? That's the whole thing. Okay, let's go to the next Mishnah. Just go to the next Mishnah 1 second. Here. The same Rabbi Yaakov used to say, it's better 1 hour of doing tshuva and good deeds in this world than all of the life of the world to come. And it's better 1 hour of pleasure in the world to come than all of the life in this world. Right? This is brought in a mimer in the Tzemach Tzedek. He really brings this down very, very, poignantly. And he says like this, he explains in great detail the pleasures that there are to be attained in the world to come, going to heaven. Such intense pleasure, even 1 second, is like all of the pleasures of this world with all the drugs and all the victories and money and pleasures, all the pleasures you can imagine in this world, all rolled up for 70 years is not as great as 1 moment in the world to come, going to heaven. And he even brings a story over there, a long story, which I don't want to go into, that Elisha ben Avuad says that he was a terrible sinner, and it was worthwhile for him to go to hell for whatever time it was in order to get 1 moment of the world to come. What is hell? Hell is like 70 years. 1 second in hell is like 70 years of the pains of Job. Like going to making an open heart operation with no anesthetic, sitting on a dentist chair, 70 years. It's worth it to go to hell for whatever, 7 years or whatever it is, in order just to merit to the pleasure of the world to come. So the pleasure in the world to come is really just infinite. It's worth it till you live your whole life just for the pleasure to the world to come. But there's something a lot better. Something a lot better. And what is it? In the world to come, you get pleasure. Infinite pleasure, tremendous pleasure, incomparable pleasure. That's in the world to come. But in this world, you give God pleasure. In this world, you give Hashem pleasure. And that's what it says. Yafeh shachet, it is better. One Hashem means even a moment of doing tshuva and good deeds in this world than all of the whole entire world to come. All of the pleasures and that's what we're learning in the Maimer. If you remember, we're learning about Gan Eden, remember, in the earth, and drawing down Chachma Bin and Das into the world, not just keeping it in heaven. The moon will be full, remember? Okay, so let's go back to the previous Mishnah. I want to just put everything into a Chassidic perspective. The previous Mishnah, Tet Zion. Rabbi Yaakov used to say this world is similar to an entranceway. The entranceway in front of the world to come. The world to come, that's like the main chamber. Shekol Adam, that every person, mitater likanesbo, everybody wants to be crowned. It has a desire. Mitated, what is this? That he wants to go into the world to come. Therefore, prepare yourself in the entranceway. Do good deeds in this world in order that you're going to go. Everybody dies, right? I mean, I don't want to tell you guys. I'm not nice to tell you, but everybody's going to die. And when you die, what's going to happen? Oh, you don't know, right? Well, he does know. You're going to go to heaven, but only if you were really good. That's the heichel. Then you get into the big chamber in the world to come in order that you can merit the life of eternal life in the world to come. Not really eternal. I mean, in the end, everybody leaves heaven and they come back to this world for the raising of the dead. But it's good enough. Like it says, Atidim Rishayim, the evil people are going to say in front of God, Henichu v'na'aseh tshuva. Please, let us do tshuva. I'm sorry, we didn't realize what we were doing. We were playing with all this, manure in this world. We were enjoying it like a little child plays with his, a little child enjoys it so much. Too, it's disgusting. The evil people, when they go to heaven, they say, you look at this. We were messing around with this world. It's so disgusting. Let us do tshuva. What's God going to say to them? Shotim, fools. The biggest fools in the world. Olam Shayita Bo, the place where you were, that's like Erev Shabbos. That's like Friday. Olam this world is like Shabbos. If a person doesn't prepare anything before Shabbos, what's he going to eat on Shabbos? Therefore, the world that you were in, it's like the dry land. Right? The world, yes, this world is like the sea. If a person doesn't prepare, if a person doesn't take any sandwiches or something like that from the dry land before the trip, what are you going to eat when you're in the sea? Olam shayitem bo, the world that you were in when you were alive, it is like a entranceway. This going to heaven, this is like the palace. If a person doesn't prepare himself in the entranceway, then how is he going to get into the palace? Good fire and brimstone speeches. This is what the wise man said. That God commanded you to do them. Now you're in this world, you're in a body, now you can do them, but in the future, you're not going to be able to do them. Right? Like I told you before, in this world, you don't understand anything, but you can do. In the world to come, you understand everything, but you can't do anything. It's too late. Hayom lasosam. Therefore, today, do them, and tomorrow you'll get the reward. V'kein omru. This is what it says. Osa, you should do. Asher. Asay ad she'ata motzei umatzui lecha v'odecha biyadcha. Do what you can until you leave, and then you will have what's ba'odecha, it's in your possession, right? Will be in your possession when you die. Okay, that's one way of living your life. I mean, you can do it. I personally was never inspired by stuff like this, but it's inspiring us. It's motivated. It's really motivating. What's going to happen after you die, so you got to watch out. Okay, I mean, maybe now is the time I can tell you a little story about myself, even though I told you the story before, but I'll tell you a story about myself. What's the story about myself? When I was about 8 years old, so I was in school and I heard this girl, non-Jewish, I was not religious, this girl say to her friend, my grandma died yesterday. And her friend said back to her, oh, everybody dies. So I thought to myself, can it really be? Is this really true? Everybody dies. I figured if everybody dies, it means everybody, that means me also. It's going to get around to me. Anyway, that night I sort of couldn't sleep and I was thinking, Mom, I'm going to die, so young, I'm only 8 years old, and I'm going to die. Then I started thinking, what happens after you die? That's pretty weird. What happens when you die? So I tried to sort of imagine what happens, after you die. Maybe I was 8 years old, could be. So I woke up in the middle of the night. I didn't go to sleep. So I heard my parents talking in the kitchen. So I went and I said, they said, oh, you're still awake. What are you awake for? So I said, tell me, what happens when you die? So they said, you don't feel good? Were you okay? So I said, yeah, I heard everybody dies. Is that really true? So they looked at each other and said, yeah, it's true. So I figured, whoa, everybody in the world has been keeping the secret from me. So could it be that they're against me? What's going on? So I said, what happens after you die? So my mother said, well, nobody knows. My father said, yeah, no one really knows. So I said, what? Nobody knows? Everybody's going to die? Nobody knows? I know. So my mother said, well, some people say you go to heaven. So I said, really? There's such a thing as heaven? My mother said, no, there's not. Just some people say that. So I figured, okay. So I went back to sleep. And now I got two questions. First of all, what happens after you die? And number two, why doesn't anybody care? It doesn't seem to bother anybody. We're like, we all bought tickets to the Titanic and we're on the Titanic and we're just, listening to the music. I saw the movie, you know what's going to happen over here? Please leave us alone. And so I'm thinking to myself, how could this possibly be? Everybody's going to die. I'm going to die. That's a pretty major thing. You're going to die. And it's pretty final. And I thought, and nobody cares, what's going to be. So I started thinking about this. Why does nobody care about this? And everybody seems to know about it except for me. So I thought, oh, I got the answer. I thought, here I am now 8 years old, right? Where was I 9 years ago? So I thought to myself, wow, I have no idea, when I was 9 years ago. I can't even imagine. So I said, same thing is going to be when you die. You just came from a big unknown zero and you're going to go back there. So that's it. What are you worried about? So I thought, that's pretty logical. That's pretty logical why people don't worry, because it's just, just doesn't. All of a sudden this idea came in my mind. I said, one second, if I came from absolute zero, nothing, and I'm going to absolute zero, so why is this interruption in the middle? Why am I here? Why am I here? So from then that started wondering, not, is there life after death? Is there life after birth? Why am I here? So the next day I went to school and I looked around and I figured, maybe somebody must have some worries and I saw nobody does. So I just forgot about the whole thing. And later on in life, that's another story. But anyway, so all these ideas about going to heaven and, worried about heaven. So it really never appealed to me. It really never appealed to me. And here it is. Here's Chassidus that says it doesn't appeal to them either. The Rebbe's don't appeal to them. What do I care about? What happens to me in going to heaven? It cares what happens here in this world to make this world a meaningful place. Okay, that's it. Let's learn now the